Well, gentlemen, welcome back to the third and final part of the spiritual warfare, civilian fire team awareness. Now, to all the subscribers, both new and old, salute to you guys. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell for future videos. And to all the veterans, all the veterans across the board. Again, wish you guys many safe travels. Hope you guys are taking care of yourselves and have peace of mind. And this is both in the civilian theater and in the military theater. So, with that being said, let's get into it. Here's something that we need to really be honest about. This is another skill that we're sorely lacking as men. And unfortunately, it's been real prevalent with the rise of these internet idols and these cyberspace ass lickers. Just have to be blunt and honest about it. And you see this with a lot of panel possums, a lot of these water carriers and bone carriers, not just online, but off. And what we're often lacking is a sense of conflict resolution or social skills and learn how to talk to each other. Instead, what you're seeing is people who like to talk at each other, talk around each other, talk about each other, talk against each other, and try to talk above people's heads. But if you're talking about demanding respect, it's a level of reciprocity. It's a currency that must be exchanged between more than one man. It starts with respect for yourself. When you're able to respect yourself, you start understanding the world in general, but I'll get to that shortly. But one of these main skills I'm really talking about is de-escalation. So de-escalation is defined as the reduction of the level or intensity. During every single citizen encounter, veterans are working to de-escalate adverse and demanding circumstances. Also, de-escalation training teaches officers, actually veterans, across the board, to slow down, create space, and use communication techniques to diffuse potentially dangerous situations. It also provides veterans with strategies to calmly deal with people who are experiencing mental and emotional crisis. Now, I got to break this down in three parts. So let's go back to the beginning. De-escalation as reduction of the level or intensity. Now, in a person, we start there. A lot of times, when we get out into the field, be it in the military, in the civilian field, or just in our fields of work, play, in other areas, we're going to face challenges. A lot of times we have a bad habit of allowing people to talk ill towards us. But more importantly, we do a complete disservice in talking ill to ourselves, talking bad about our vision in the form of lack of confidence, nihilistic behavior, mindsets, and conversations, intentionally giving up before we even start, going into the battlefield and waging war with it in order to win. The most important grounds you need to take care of is here how you think, how you perceive yourself, and understanding yourself. And here is the belief, not the size of the fight in the dog. So it's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the fight in that dog itself. Screw that up, but you understand what I'm talking about. Too many guys allow external lofty platitudes or whatnot to demean who you really are. And that's all that fucking matters. You might not be as tall as the other person. You might not be financially well off as the other person, or what have you. But you gotta know your role and play it. Shout out to my brother Sheep. That means every man has a respective build. Don't limit it to physical. How are you built as a man in general? How do you think? What is your spiritual, emotional constitution? How do you handle adversity and challenge? Do you have a hunger to be tested? And when you are tested, are you standing firm that you will be able to handle the situation? If you don't have the answer, are you willing to ask questions and find resolutions to them? Or will you fold like a wet t-shirt? The interpersonal lets it be known by who you hang around, what you allow to happen to you, how you handle certain situations, how you deal out rewards and consequences. And most times, we believe it's justified to sit here and senselessly punish ourselves. When I talk about the de-escalation, and this is a man dealing with PTSD, sleep apnea, tinnitus in the ear, and other military elements out there. Clinical depression does come in waves many times, especially in the current situation I'm enduring. But when you sit down and meditate, when you sit down and take onus of the situation for what it is and seek to take command of it, that helps de-escalate that level of cortisol building up, which in turn takes your health seriously, your mental well-being seriously, your dwelling, your appearance, and your family. It doesn't have to be your immediate family. It could be your brothers out there. It all starts with the interpersonal. If you view yourself as a piece of shit, you can't be upset about self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, I've had my complete disdain for fear and fail porn. This is why you start, when it comes to the de-escalation, you start tuning things out. Granted, you get passionate about certain issues, but to sit here for hours on end talking about the problem rather than addressing it, it's only going to heighten the damage done to you. When you're able to learn how to talk the voices down within yourself that talks against you, you're able to manifest that into the social setting. Start speaking life into people because you started with speaking life into yourself first. See, a lot of times we've been handed generational curses. When it comes down to it, when we start putting them fucking things in check, we'll be able to better check those things surrounding us. But you got to take care of the interior first. Now, as far as the Fireteam aspect, you start managing the morale in your peers, in others. So again, there's people who monetize mediocrity and start speaking death into people's vision, death into people's perspective of themselves, and ultimately death within them because they become the walking dead. When you're able to use your respective traumas that you became victorious over as testimonies and examples, you inspire motivation in others. And some, while they may believe it seems impossible because they're still stuck in that rut, when you show them the way, when you tell them you can do this, you just got to apply pressure to yourself. Be that man of principle and purpose. You're not going to please everybody. Stop running the fucking 10, 12 labors of Hercules to appease a chick that wants you to run the gauntlet when she's giving that apple freely to a dude who doesn't have to prove himself like that. Because he found out in himself, he de-escalated the voices and the doubts within himself. When it comes to your crew, wellness checks help de-escalate the stress that they're going through. You start feeling that the potency of agency because they can talk to a brother about their issue. They can get those things out and function as well, fine old machines of purpose and principle. When you start moving in a certain way, letting your brother know, like, look, if I'm eating, you eating. reassure them. You give them that confidence, that motivation to put more belief into what they're capable of doing. When they have ideas, you have constructive criticism. You put them on point, help them fine tune things. When you celebrate their victories, when you walk them through their losses, be it interpersonal, social, that's how you tighten the bonds, not just in the crew, but to help fortify your brother himself. So when it comes to the whole thing about the fire team aspect, when you got a band of brothers, it's not just a movie or a conversation. It's a reality that you bring to fruition. It's something you believe that needs to be sustained, something that should be emulated in other brothers. That's how you get the men back on point. So you don't usually, when it comes to the weight, our shoulders are meant to bear those necessary weights to get things moving. Your burdens, you can hold them for a while, but if you allow them to be unchecked, they will crush you. And what does it say about the people around you that allow you to be crushed? They just take a snapshot to keep it pushing. So when you start working on the fire team aspect of de-escalation, how to talk to people, how to talk greatness into yourself while checking the doubts within yourself, that's a superpower in and of itself. Now, when it comes down to brothers dealing with an emotional crisis, there are some brothers who've lost some people that they matter to. There's guys who go through emotional trauma, whether it be relationship breakups or turmoil, or how they view themselves. You need to be that pillar to pick that brother up. Have something for him to stand on when he's lost feelings in his legs, and he feels like he's unable to move. A lot of times, we will fail. But they say, oh, if you're going to fall forward. It's a game of inches. Push for that extra yardage, especially in person. And on the secular aspect, what we deal with on a global basis, you allow these internet charlatans, these masculine cosplay clowns, to govern how you view yourself, see yourself, pimp you out of your resources and time to make fun of yourself in the most negative way. This is where you get this nihilistic porn mindset out here. And you see the state of affairs that are de-evolving by the passing day and hour. But when you get a band of brothers who make it cool to not just be their organic and genuine selves, but to erect greatness in the face of other people who stop believing in themselves, that's where you start seeing the impact. That's where you start seeing change. You start nullifying the numbers that are growing as far as the male suicide. All these outstanding issues that all these maggles, these weenies, these tender dicks want to flee from. And that's all you're seeing nowadays. It's a decathlon from running from accountability. I coined the phrase accountability dodgeball because while you got individuals who want to play it, when it comes to being hit with the honest truth, they're better than Neo in the Matrix. One of those times, you're going to get beaten to the point where you got to sit down and reassess yourself. Sometimes it's better to, when they throw them, the cold hard truth is thrown your way, you gotta learn how to catch it, maneuver, pivot, and throw that shit right back at it. I accept what's thrown at me. I accept the fact that I made mistakes. I accept the fact that I wasn't on point all the time. But I'm gonna take this time, which is a finite resource, to unfuck myself and those things and those people around myself. And using the ability to convert from the warrior that's beating himself and stabbing himself into a gardener who can bring beauty and flourish with the greatness of himself and plant those seeds in others. Inspiration, motivation, dedication are powerful seeds. And using your masculine light to help grow those seeds, you got a community garden of greatness. So I want to say in closing, when it comes to de-escalation, it never hurts to talk to yourself. Sometimes you have to be your best and loudest cheerleader, because not everybody's going to be there all the time. Some battles you have to win on your own. But do understand, as long as you have great communication, not just with yourself, but a higher power and your peers that are looking to see great things out of you, you'd be amazed what fruit you're looking to bear. See, in this world, in this climate, they use propaganda to basically beat you down to say you're worth less than nothing, that you're supposed to be a spiritually impaired mule of provision. You're supposed to be a slave to people's nonsensical ideas and demands. But when you use de-escalation of bullshit to see things as they really are, that's when you start understanding what red pill honestly means. Not these red jelly bean motherfuckers or these junkies who take the pills, but they're hooked on the high it gives, versus the medicinal properties that are meant to do what it's supposed to do when taken in moderation. You can claim to be red pill all you want, but when you abuse these statistics or all these talking points or all these things that pertain to waking you the fuck up, it doesn't make you a man or whatever title you would claim to be. It makes you an outright junkie. And a junkie is a slave rather than a man who knows how to use the key to salvation to free himself and others. So every day you're given a chance and a choice. Or you want to be a slave that's being pulled to and fro until he's literally destroyed by pulling himself apart. Or you're going to tap into the ability to be both the gardener that uses his masculine light to grow the fruits of masculine evolution, and still be that warrior to be teaching leadership and protect the ground he's established and willing to stand and die for. In this space, in spite of the stupid shit you see on a regular basis, we're looking to sit there and mature your eyes and your mind and your heart. You got to want more, see more, and be more. It all starts in how you use your voice to either speak greatness into you and through you, or to smolder your light until there's nothing. As always, I salute to my brothers who are about forward progression and saluting evergreen content. And because, some people are going to feel some kind of way because I don't subscribe to fear and fail porn. Respectfully, I don't give a fuck. I got to give it to you straight as a man, one man to another. If I can say this on this panel, I can say it to your face. I want to see great things to those listening to the sound of my voice. I want to see great things, not just in our lifetime, but when we transcend from this place. And what you leave behind to make it an honor to carry your last name. That's a man shit right there. With that being said, that's it for my series. If I missed anything, as always, you let me know in the comment section or hit me up at genuinearticle75@gmail.com. Salute to you guys, and never allow your comfort zone to become your coffin. Peace.